Alright, y'all, it's time to talk about Shaquille O'Neal, Diesel, the Superman, the Big Aristotle. However you know him, you know him. Because Shaq wasn't just a basketball player, he was an experience. Think about it. This dude is 7'1", 325, dancing in commercials, rapping on TV, breaking backboards like it's nothing. And oh yeah, winning championships while making some of the greatest guards in NBA history look even better. But here's the thing, Shaq's story goes way beyond highlight dunks. It's about where he came from, the rivals that he faced, the teammates and coaches that shaped him, and yeah, even his flaws. Because for all of the dominance, there were free throw bricks, weight issues, and drama. Lots of drama. So in this video, we're going to break down the entire journey, from a kid in Newark to Orlando with Penny Hardaway, to the three-peat with Kobe and Phil, to Miami with Wade and Pat Riley. We'll talk rivalries, dominance, business, and even the charitable side that doesn't always make the headlines. By the end, you'll see why Shaq's legacy is bigger than basketball. Stick with me, because this is a wild ride. Shaquille O'Neal was born in Newark, New Jersey in 1972. Now, Newark back then wasn't the easiest place to grow up, and trust me, I know, I'm from Jersey. His biological father wasn't around. In fact, he struggled with addiction and spent time in prison. But Shaq's stepfather, Philip Harrison, stepped in big time. He was a military man, strict, tough, and didn't let Shaq slack off. Shaq said it himself. He was scared of that man, but also respected him like crazy. And his mom, Lucille O'Neal, she gave him the compassion side. That's where Shaq's mix of toughness and heart comes from. When Shaq was younger, he was awkward, clumsy, too tall, too big for his age. But when he finally grew into his body, and when basketball found him, man, that's when everything changed. By high school, this dude was a monster. In San Antonio at Robert G. Cole High, he literally led his team to a 68-1 record in 2 years. In college, LSU with Coach Dale Brown, Shaq was an absolute menace. We're talking two-time All-American, National Player of the Year conversations, 27 points, 14 boards a game. We already knew he was going to the league, and he was going to be the next big thing like Brock Lesnar, baby. In the 1992 NBA draft, Shaquille O'Neal goes #1 overall to the Orlando Magic. And instantly, and I mean instantly, he is must-watch TV. Rookie of the Year, breaking backboards, I mean literally tearing them down. It was a thing to see. He was a video game character come to life. But then Orlando makes maybe the best move in franchise history. They trade for Penny Hardaway. Now, if you're too young, let me explain Penny to you. Imagine a 6'7" point guard with the flash of Magic Johnson, the creativity of a street ball legend, and the smoothest jumper you've ever seen. Plus, little Penny. That was Penny Hardaway. Him and Shaq together though, forget about it. Lob City before Lob City was even a thing. Shaq inside, Penny on the perimeter, and guys like 3D Dennis Scott stretching the floor. It was deadly. In '95, the Magic shocked everybody as they beat Michael Jordan's Bulls. And granted, Mike had just come back, but still, it took them to the NBA Finals. But here's where Shaq hit his first real wall. Hakeem, the Dream Olajuwon, and the Houston Rockets. The '95 Finals was a sweep. Houston embarrassed them. Hakeem put on a clinic. I mean footwork, finesse, patience. Shaq was still dominant, but Hakeem showed him, look, young fella, you ain't there yet. And Shaq admitted later that it humbled him big time. By 96 though, free agency comes, Orlando hesitates to give Shaq the bag, the media trashes him for wanting superstar money, and the Los Angeles Lakers swoop in, and the rest was history. Orlando lost a generational talent over greed and hesitation. Shaq arrives in Tinseltown, Hollywood, and the LA Lakers with a $120 million massive deal. At the same time, the Lakers bring in this kid straight out of high school from the main line near Philly named Kobe Bryant. At first, Shaq's like the big brother, the star. Kobe's just this teenage prodigy trying to prove himself. The early years in LA brought a lot of hype, but also a lot of frustration. Playoff exits, coaching changes, Shaq battling conditioning issues. Look, dude loved his burgers. Let's be real. So do I. I don't have room to talk, but I'm just saying. But those free throws, now those were just painful to watch. I mean, teams literally created Hack-a-Shaq just to expose it. But then in 1999, a major shift happens as the Zen Master, Phil Jackson, shows up to coach the Lakers. The man who got 6 rings out of Jordan and Pippen. He installs the triangle offense, he teaches discipline, and most importantly, he convinces Shaq to lock in. The result? The infamous 2000 season. One of the most dominant seasons in NBA history. Shaq averaged just under 30 points per game, 13.6 boards, and 3 blocks. He won league MVP almost by a unanimous vote. The definition of unstoppable. Then in the finals against the Pacers, he averaged 38 points and 16 boards. Like, that's just not even real. I mean, he gave it to Rick Smits. Those are just video game numbers at this point. The Lakers won it all, and they weren't done. 2001, they go 15-1 in the playoffs. I mean, Sixers had that one win where Allen Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue, but still, that 15-1 is really good, as Shaq destroyed the Sixers in the finals. 2002, they swept the Nets, and boom, a three-peat. 3 straight finals MVPs for Shaq. I mean, that's truly legendary stuff. But here's the problem. Shaq and Kobe. They loved each other as teammates, but man, they fought like brothers. Kobe thought Shaq was lazy and out of shape. Shaq thought Kobe was selfish and tried a little too hard to be like Jordan, which, to be fair, I mean, you might have a point. They both had a point. It was constant tension, though. They still won because of their talent, because the talent was just ridiculous. But by 2004, it all boiled over. The Lakers lost in the finals to the Pistons, a team that didn't have a star. They were just a team and really good at defense. And then the front office chose Kobe over Shaq. So that just sent the Big Diesel down to South Beach. Shaq lands in Miami in 2004. Now, this is a different role for Shaq. He's not the young superstar anymore. He's the wily veteran leader. And who's his running mate? A young Dwayne Wade. Now, Wade at the time was just electric. I mean, slashing, fearless, crafty. Shaq called him Flash because of how quick he was. And you can tell Shaq really liked playing with Wade. Their relationship was way smoother than his with Kobe. Shaq wasn't threatened. Wade was humble, gave Shaq respect, and Shaq gave it right back. Then you add Pat Riley, one of the greatest coaches and motivators ever. Now you've got a recipe for success. 2006 finals against the Mavs, he go down 0-2, and it looks like it's over. But then Wade turns into Superman, averaging almost 35 points the rest of the series. Shaq wasn't the final MVP this time, but don't get it twisted. His presence opened the floor, his leadership mattered, and he got that 4th ring. That ring validated him. He wasn't just a product of Kobe or Phil. He could win somewhere else, with a different star and a different coach. After Miami, Father Time started catching up. Shaq was big, and carrying that frame takes a toll. He bounced around. Phoenix with Steve Nash, Cleveland with LeBron, Boston with the Big Three. But the dominance was gone. In 2011, After almost 20 years, Shaq called it quits. 4 rings, 1 MVP, 3 Finals MVPs, 15 All-Star games. And let's be real, the most dominant big man since Wilt Chamberlain. But Shaq didn't disappear. Oh no, he became bigger than ever. He was already doing his acting thing before he retired with movies like Blue Chips and the infamous Kazam. And we already knew he had the rap albums that went platinum and endorsements everywhere, but the real money was in business. Shaq invested in franchises. Five Guys, Papa John's. I know y'all remember that Shaq XXL pizza they had. Krispy Kreme, car washes, gyms. Look, dude turned into a business mogul worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And then there's the charitable side. Shaq is low-key one of the most generous celebrities alive. He does his Shaq-a-Claus every year, giving kids toys. Once a year at least, I see a video of Shaq just randomly popping up at a Walmart and just buying baskets on top of baskets of toys for kids. It's really a thing to see. He's been known to randomly pay off people's layaway bills. He's even bought strangers new cars. And unfortunately, he's even had to pay for a funeral or two. That side of Shaq, the compassion from his mom. This is why people love him beyond basketball. So what do we take away from Shaq's story? Number 1, dude was dominant. We throw that word around a lot, but there's never been anyone who had the combined size, skill, and personality the way Shaq did. Number 2 was he was human. He wasn't perfect. His free throws were atrocious. His conditioning, when he felt like it. Drama, he's petty boo, let's be real. But greatness isn't about being flawless. It's about overcoming flaws. And Shaq did that over and over again. Number 3, Shaq's legacy is bigger than basketball. He made Penny, Kobe, Wade, and even LeBron for a short time. He was shaped by Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, and his teammates. And when the game was done, he became a businessman, an entertainer, and one of the most generous dudes you'll ever hear about. So yeah, Shaq was larger than life on the court, but off the court, that's where he became immortal. Alright y'all, that's the story of Shaquille O'Neal. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you love deep dives into legends, and tell me in the comments, what's your favorite Shaq moment? Was it the dunks, the movies, the three-peat, or just him clowning around with Ernie, Kenny, and Chuck on TNT? Until next time, stay motivated, stay inspired, and remember, greatness comes in many forms, and sometimes that form is 7'1", 325 pounds. Peace!